So there's a kind of mitzvah in the Torah that's called a chok, C-H-O-K. And it means it's a mitzvah that we don't really understand. We don't really get the point of it. It seems kind of weird to us. So like, can't eat meat and milk. You can't wear clothing that has wool and linen mixed together. And in the Parsha, the mitzvah of the red heifer, special red cow, that you use the ashes of it to purify people who became impure, but then the person who did the purification process himself becomes impure. Weird. I think there's maybe 5 or 6, 8 mitzvahs in the whole Torah that are like that are called chukim, and it doesn't make sense to us. In other words, if God gives us a Torah and says, this is how I want you to live and have a relationship with me, why give us mitzvahs that by definition we're not going to understand? So if you think about it, it's really like any relationship. When I tell my kids when they're young, they got to brush their teeth. So my 4-year-old's going to say, but why, Abba? Why is it so important that I brush my teeth? What happens if I don't brush my teeth? I didn't brush my teeth yesterday and nothing happened. So at a certain point, there's a level where you want your kids to say, listen, man, you're my dad, you're my mom, you've been around. I just trust you because I know you know things that I don't know. And that's a sign of a good relationship, that there's a level of trust. So whenever we find ourselves encountering a commandment that doesn't make sense, it's saying, I know there's so many other areas of life I can trust God because of everything else I've seen that makes sense. I see the beauty, I see the wisdom. So when it comes to the things I don't understand, I'm willing to accept that maybe God knows a little bit more than me. Shabbat Shalom.